Shall I start, sir?
Wait, I will tell you.
Okay, sir.
Good morning, all of you. I welcome all the principals of Model School, teachers of Model School, and students of Model School. I welcome to this webinar session of Model Schools. Today we are having 3 sessions. First lesson is about, first session is in the botany, second one is in the commerce, and third one is in the mathematics. And today is a very great day because by mathematics session, we will be reaching the 50th session of our webinar series. We started with a lot of enthusiasm and we are still bubbling with the same energy and enthusiasm. Today we are having, as part of our webinar sessions, we are having L. Bharati, PGT Botany from TSMS Jara Sangam, Sangareddy districts. She is having 10 years of teaching experience and now she is working in model school since the last 7 years. She is well versed with the subject and she is very enthusiastic to give a lecture on various topics to the students. Today she is delivering on very important topic, that is enzymes. Enzymes play a vital role in all the living organisms, whether it is microorganism or plant or animal, whatever it is. Enzymes play a very vital role in the living organisms. Today, for the next 3 days, we are going to have a wonderful lecture on these enzymes from Mrs. Bharati. Now I welcome Mrs. Bharati to present her session.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bharati
sir.
Garu, you can start.
Okay, thank you, sir. Good morning, everybody, all the dignitaries and my coordinators and my principal. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak on the topic enzymes. Enzymes is present in the unit 1, that is plant physiology. This is the 3rd chapter. Today I'm taking this enzyme part 1. So now the topics that are to be covered are 3 topics are there: chemical reaction, enzymatic conversions, and mechanism of enzyme action. So these 3 topics I'll cover today. So in this topic, first we'll know what is an enzyme. Actually, we all know in BPC first year botany textbook, we have learned about living world. In the living world, we have known about the differences between living organisms and non-living Actually, we all know, like we say, first year botany textbook, we have learned about living world. In the living world, we have known about the differences between organisms and non-living.
Shalya madam. Shalya madam.
Yes, sir.
Audio vastunda antunna.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I am starting the screen sharing and lesson.
Yes.
Thank you. Good morning all of you.
సార్ వాల్యూమ్ కొంచెం పెద్దగా చేయండి.
ఓకే వస్తుందా వాల్యూమ్?
కొంచెం చిన్నగా వస్తుంది.
ఇంతకన్నా రాదేమో ఇక. Is it okay?
It is a little bit less only.
ఇప్పుడు కూడా వినిపిస్తలేదా?
పర్వాలేదు, కొంచెం గట్టిగా చెప్పండి.
You raise your voice and continue.
Okay. So good morning all of you. There was some interruption because of technical problems. Now I will continue the chapter enzymes. So the credit goes to Bharati only, even though I am delivering the content. So in this topic today, we are going to discuss about three important things. One is chemical reaction. Second one is enzymatic conversions. Third one is the mechanism of enzymatic action. So these are the three topics which we are going to cover today. So first of all, we have to understand what are enzymes. Enzymes are biocatalysts. Enzymes are biocatalysts. We know about the catalyst. Catalysts are generally used in the industries to perform various reactions. But enzymes are biocatalysts which bring about a high rate of biochemical reaction in the living organisms. Various types of chemical reactions take place. Biochemical reactions. Bio means living organisms. Chemical means various types of reactions that are taking place in our body. Biochemical reactions, the reactions that are taking place in the living organisms are called biochemical reactions. These enzymes act as biocatalysts. Under normal circumstances, these biochemical reactions takes place at a slower rate. But when the enzymes are present, these biochemical reactions takes place at a faster rate. That is why enzymes are very important in our body. The term enzyme was first coined by Kuhne in 1678. So he was the first scientist to name them as the enzymes. So what is an enzyme? N means in, zyme means in yeast. So actually these enzymes were first time identified and isolated from the yeast. You know about the yeast. Yeast are the eukaryotic organisms. Eukaryotic unicellular organisms. These play a very important role in the industrial microbiology and in the various fermentation processes. So in them, the first time the enzymes are being isolated, that's why they are known as enzymes. Almost all enzymes are proteins. 99.9% of enzymes are proteins, but all proteins are not enzymes. We must remember all enzymes are proteins, but all proteins are not enzymes. There are certain nucleic acids which are having the enzymatic properties, but they are not enzymes, but they are having enzymatic properties. That is why they are called ribozymes. So for example, 23S RNA is there. So that we call ribozymes because it is associated with the ribonucleic acid with enzymatic properties. So first of all, we must remember enzymes are biocatalysts. They enhances the rate of reaction. They were first time isolated in the yeast. That's why they are called enzymes. And they are proteins and they play very important role. So various scientists are being associated with the discovery of the enzymes. Kuhne coined the term enzyme. Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur is known as the father of industrial microbiology. He is also known as the father of medical microbiology. So he performed several experiments on fermentation agents. And Edward Buckner is there. He also studied about the ferments. And J.B. Sumner is there. J.B. Sumner is the first scientist to crystallize the enzymes. And Northrop and Kunz are there. They purified and crystallized the pepsin and the trypsin enzymes. These pepsin and trypsin play a very important role in our digestive system. So he was the first scientist to crystallize these enzymes. So several scientists, not only in the 19th century, in 20th century and 21st century also, various scientists are working on different enzymes because these enzymes play a prominent role in the functioning of the living organisms. In fact, we can say that without enzymes, there is no life. You take any biochemical pathway, whether it is a photosynthesis, whether it is respiration, whether it is digestion, whatever it is, all the activities are done by the enzymes. In the absence of the enzymes, no metabolic activity or catabolic activity takes place in the living organisms. In the absence of the catabolic and anabolic reactions, metabolic reactions, the living organism ceases to exist. Whenever we get some diseases, that is because of the either absence of hormones or because of the absence of the enzymes. So that much role the enzymes will play in our body. And this is the photograph of the Friedrich William Kuhne. So he coined the term enzyme, meaning in yeast. And we are having the unicellular yeast cells are here. Fungi are two types, multicellular and unicellular. Multicellular fungi we can see on the bread and other things. Whenever the food undergoes spoilage, we see some Penicillium or Aspergillus. Some other types of fungus will be there. Here they are unicellular fungi. They possess only a single cell, but sometimes they may appear they are possessing two cells, but actually they are not two cells. One single unicellular yeast is giving rise to another yeast cell that is called budding. So here they are producing one enzyme called gymase. Gymase play an important role in the industrial microbiology. It is responsible for the digestion of various carbohydrates. By the digestion and fermentation of the various carbohydrates only we can produce different types of industrial molecules. So yeast is the major organism on which enzymatic studies are being conducted. So here we are having a comparative table between the enzymes and inorganic catalyst. Enzymes are also called as biocatalyst. In the introduction itself, I told why they are called biocatalyst. Catalyst means which enhances the rate of reaction. Any molecule that enhances the rate of reaction is called catalyst. As it is present in the living organisms, it is called biocatalyst. Whereas inorganic catalyst, various types of molecules, various types of metal ions, they are present in the industries. That is why they are called inorganic catalysts. They are inorganic molecules. So here we have a comparative table. First of all, enzymes. Enzymes are proteins. All enzymes are proteins. Whereas inorganic catalysts are not proteins. They are metal ions. Enzymes gets denatured. Denatured means if the enzyme is exposed, actually enzyme is having 4 stages of structure: linear structure, two-dimensional structure, tertiary structure, and quaternary structure. In the quaternary structure, they appear in the form of globules. When the quaternary structure is exposed to the high temperature, because of the high temperature, they gets denatured. Denatured means their original structure is lost, and if they are exposed to high temperature, they become inactive. Inactive means they ceases to function. So that is the nature of the enzymes. Whereas at high temperature and high pressure, also the inorganic catalyst remains active. And another important difference is enzymes are having active sites. We will discuss what are active sites. Whereas metal ions do not have, inorganic catalysts do not have any active sites. Enzymes are specific in their action. Enzymes are specific in their action. Action means, for example, if you take amylases acts only on the carbohydrates. Whereas proteases, they act only on the proteins. Lipases, they act only on the lipids. Lipases do not act on the carbohydrates. Proteases cannot act on the lipids. Amylases cannot act on the proteins. That means each enzyme is having a specific function, whereas they are metal ions are not specific. Non-specific means some certain of the metal ions can be used in various types of catalytic reactions. So that is why enzymes are non-specific. And for example, we have given 2 enzymes, pepsin and amylase, and here we are giving another nickel and molybdenum catalyst. So both of them are having very important role. One is having in the important role in the living organism, whereas the other one is having in the important role in the industry. So we have given only a comparative table here. So there is a small discussion in your textbook regarding the thermophiles. Thermo means high temperature, philic means loving. The microorganisms that loves high temperature, the microorganisms that lives at high temperature, loves and lives at high temperature are called thermophiles. Thermophiles are the organisms which are enzymes that do not get denatured even at high temperature, such as 80 degrees to 100 degrees centigrade. 1 minute before I told that most of the enzymes get denatured at high temperature. That means if the temperature exceeds say 45 degrees or 50 degrees, say okay, but more than 55 degrees centigrade, most of the enzymes ceases to functions. But these thermophiles are the microorganisms. For example, we have given one microorganism, Thermus aquaticus. Thermus aquaticus means at certain of the places, for example, the river beaches are we are having some hot springs. Hot springs means hot water will be coming out from the earth crust. That is because of the sulfur content in the soil. In such hot springs, some microorganisms lives. For example, Thermus aquaticus. Thermus means high temperature, aquaticus, water. The microorganism that lives in the high temperature water is called Thermus aquaticus. This Thermus aquaticus contains one enzyme called Thermus aquaticus polymerase. Polymerase means which is functional in the DNA synthesis. Now, the COVID-19 virus which we are seeing is also contains one DNA-dependent RNA polymerase enzyme. So RNA polymerase or DNA polymerase, these enzymes are the enzymes that are helpful for the DNA and RNA synthesis. So we are having one thermophilic organism. That thermophilic organisms contains enzymes which are functional at high temperature. Normally, we are saying enzymes are not functional at high temperature, but these thermophiles contain enzymes that are functional at very high temperature. This is an exception. So we are also having psychrophiles. Psychrophiles are the microorganisms which live at low temperature, and they do contain some enzymes which functions below 0 degrees centigrade. Both these psychrophiles and thermophiles are exceptional. We are mesophiles. Mesophiles means we live at normal temperature, that is room temperature. Then, as we go into the topics of the enzyme, there are three important definitions which we have to learn. They will come regularly. One is the active site. Active site is the site on the enzyme. Active site is on the site on the enzyme. Each enzyme may contain many active sites actually. They are also called catalytic sites. Each enzyme may contain several active sites or catalytic sites where the substrate will bind. Actually, the reaction is substrate plus enzyme forms a substrate enzyme complex. Then it will result in the formation of substrate product. That is the equation which we will see at a later stage. But we must remember each enzyme contains active sites. At the active site, the substrate molecule will bind. When the substrate molecule will bind, it will undergo some conversion. By means of conversion, the substrate will be converted into product. So that is the active site, and we are having a substrate here. What the definition of the substrate is the substance which is converted to product in an enzyme catalyzed reaction. So the substance, the initial substance. For example, carbohydrate is the substrate. Carbohydrate is the substrate. Amylase is the enzyme. Amylase contains several active sites. The carbohydrate binds to the amylase active sites, and the carbohydrate gets converted into glucose molecules. One carbohydrate gets converted into glucose molecules, whatever it is. For example, starch is there. So starch gets digested by the amylase. Starch is a dicarbohydrate. That means it contains two carbohydrate molecules. Upon digestion by the amylase, it will be converted into glucose and fructose molecule. So glucose and fructose are products. Carbohydrate, starch is the substrate. Amylase is the enzyme. That amylase enzyme contains active site. So product is the result of the reaction, result of the enzymatic reaction. So 3 points. Please remember, active sites are the sites present on the enzyme where the substrate will bind to the enzyme molecule and undergo reaction. Substrate is the molecule which participate in the reaction to form the product. Product is the molecule formed by the enzymatic reaction of the enzyme. So one example we are taking, carbohydrate. Starch is a carbohydrate. Starch digested by the amylase. It produces glucose and fructose molecules. So that's like that. So what these enzymes are doing? Enzymes are doing chemical reactions. Enzymes are performing chemical reaction. Enzymes are nothing but they are just like a priest at a marriage. So they perform. They do not participate in the reaction. They performs the reaction. For example, we are giving one example. Conversion of water shows both physical and chemical change. Reaction is a chemical or metabolic conversion. For example, water is there. Water, if it is exposed to high temperature, it gets evaporated. If it exposed to low temperature, it gets freezed. That is a physical reaction. That is not a chemical reaction. But the water molecules, when they combine with other substances, they participate in the chemical reaction. Reaction is a chemical or metabolic conversion. Reaction is a metabolic conversion. That means from one form to the another form. Here we are giving one example. Barium hydroxide is combining with sulfuric acid, and it is forming barium sulfate and water molecule. So we are giving that is inorganic chemical reaction. Inorganic chemical reaction means that is taking place in the outside the living organisms. If you take the organic chemical reaction, the starch is getting converted into glucose by the enzymatic reaction. So in the inorganic chemical reaction, the inorganic catalyst will participate in the reaction, whereas in the organic chemical reaction, the enzymes will participate in the reaction. That is the participate means performs the reaction. Sorry. So that is the difference between the inorganic chemical reactions and organic chemical reaction. So we are having one important term, velocity of a reaction. Velocity of a reaction means is the amount of products are formed per unit time. So for example, whenever we ride a vehicle, we measure in the terms of velocity. For example, 60 kilometers per hour, 70 kilometers per hour, 20 kilometers per hour. For example, when we run, that are sometimes we measure in terms of hours. Whereas when we run a vehicle, we measure in terms of hour. So velocity of a reaction means in how much per a unit time, how many substrate molecules are being converted into product. For example, if you take 1 second as the unit time, if 100 molecules are converted into product from substrate, that is called 100 molecules per second. That is the velocity of a reaction. Enzymes catalyze these reactions at high rate. In the initial stages itself, we told that enzymes are catalyst. They accelerate the rate of reaction. They accelerate. Accelerate means enhances the speed of reaction. So that acceleration technically known as catalysis. That is why they are called catalysis, catalyst. So in enzymes, we use one term called turnover number. Turnover number. So what is the turnover number? As per the definition of the turnover number, it is defined as the maximum number of chemical conversions of substrate molecule per second that a single catalytic site will execute for a given enzyme concentration for enzymes with 2 or more active sites. So first of all, let us go back to the active site. I told active site is the site where the substrate molecule will bind to the enzymes. That is the first definition. Then each enzyme is having several active sites. When each enzyme is having several active sites, definitely several molecules will bind to the several substrate molecule will bind to the enzyme simultaneously. When they bind to the substrate molecule, they undergo conversion to form the products. How many substrate molecules are getting converted into products per second? That is called turnover number. For example, if 1,000 starch molecules are there, if 1,000 starch molecules are being converted into glucose and fructose molecules per second by amylase enzyme, that is turnover number is 1,000. If 100 is getting converted, turnover number is 100. If 1,500 is getting converted, that turnover number is 1,500. So turnover number indicates how many substrate molecules are being converted into product at a particular second by a single enzyme concentration. So here we are giving one example for you. Carbonic anhydrase. Carbonic anhydrase is known as the fastest acting enzyme as it has the highest turnover number. So carbonic anhydrase is the one enzyme. It performs one reaction. It combines carbon dioxide and water molecule to generate carbonic acid. Actually, arrow mark should be shown there. It is missing somehow. So in between CO2 plus H2O gives rise to H2CO3. That is the reaction. So you can see one important statistics here. The reaction takes place in the absence of enzyme also. Even in the absence of the carbonic anhydrase enzyme also, the reaction can take place. But in the absence of enzyme, for 1 hour, only 200 molecules gets converted from carbon by combining carbon dioxide and water molecule to carbonic acid. For 1 hour, 200 molecules gets a turnover from carbon dioxide and water molecule to carbonic acid. But whereas in the presence of the enzyme, per second, earlier I spoke about 1 hour. Now I am speaking about 1 second. For 1 second, 6 lakh molecules gets converted into carbonic acid. That means the enzymes enhances the rate of reaction 10 million times. Each million is 10 lakh. 10 million means 1 crore time. So in the absence of the enzyme, if reaction is taking place at 1 crore rate, in the presence of the enzyme, the reaction will take place at 1 crore rate. That much important these enzymes are having in our life. So another important thing you must remember is in our body, the chemical reactions does not take place at a single go. The chemical reaction takes place in a sequential manner because there are plenty. Our body is nothing but a mixture of chemical molecule. You take any body part, that body part is made up of one chemical molecule or another chemical molecule. All the chemical molecules are not required by the body at a time. Body needs different chemical molecules at different times. That is why body developed a mechanism by which it can synthesize only desired chemical molecule. Body never want to waste its energy. It activates the systems when it needs the energy. For example, now we are facing COVID-19. When we are facing the COVID-19, our body sends a message to the immune system to make antibodies for the COVID-19 only. For example, we are not facing any diphtheria, we are not facing any tetanus, we are not facing any other disease at this particular point of time. Our body is not going to waste its energy producing antibodies against the diphtheria, tetanus, or some other thing. So, for example, if you eat carbohydrate in the morning, if you eat carbohydrate, your body will secrete amylase enzyme. If you eat some proteins, body will produce proteases. If you eat some lipids, then the body will secrete lipases. That's why body conserve its energy. So the because of that only the reactions in our body takes place in a sequential manner. For example, glycolysis is there. Glycolysis is a 10-step process. By means of glycolysis, the carbohydrate molecules are converted into one carbohydrate molecule gets converted into two pyruvic acid molecule along with the water molecule. Certain amount of ATP is also being liberated in this process. That takes place in 10 different stages. That's why 10 different enzymes will participate. One enzyme will be coordinating with the other enzyme. One type of inhibition acts there, that is called feedback inhibition. It is not part of our discussion here. As and when we discuss in the factors influencing the enzyme activity, there we will discuss. So we must remember 2 points from this slide. Dear students, are you able? I hope you are able to understand. One, the enzymes enhances the rate of reaction multiple times. That means if the 1:1 crore, just you can imagine. For example, in the absence of the enzyme, if you can travel 1 meter, in the presence of enzyme, you can travel 1 crore meters. By that, you can imagine the difference. And the enzymes acts in sequential manner. That is another important takeaway from here. So, enzymatic conversion, we have been telling enzymes are converting substrate into product, conversion. For example, we are having wheat dough. So if you apply yeast will produce certain enzymes and it will convert it into bread. Simple example. Wheat dough is the substrate, bread is the product. You just imagine like that. The enzymes produced by the yeast are doing that process. For example, today morning I had idli as the breakfast. Yesterday evening, my wife soaked all the ingredients and grinded them and put it in a vessel. Why she has to put it overnight? In the overnight, certain yeast get accumulated in the batter. Batter means that the grinded material is known as batter. In that batter, certain yeast and other bacteria invades. They perform fermentation. By means of fermentation, they convert them into this fermented product. When we boil them, they become idli. Another example is we are having milk. That milk we add some curdling. That curdling, seed curdling, will convert it into curd. That is also enzymatic process. The lactobacillus bacteria present in them are performing the curdling activity, and various other bacteria are also there. They are converting them into product. So these are all called enzymatic conversions. So what is meant by enzymatic conversion? For enzymes convert substrate into product. For example, here we are given one example, glucose. Glucose is the substrate. Glucose 6-phosphate is the product. Glucose is combining with ATP molecule, adenosine triphosphate molecule in the presence of one enzyme, and they are converting glucose into glucose 6-phosphate. So when enzyme combines with the substrate, automatically enzyme plus substrate automatically does not give rise to enzyme plus product. The equation is E plus S. Enzyme plus substrate gives rise to ES. Enzyme substrate complex gives rise to E plus P. Enzyme production. So that enzyme substrate complex is called as transition state. Transition state means it is unstable state. It is not stable state. It will be converted into product at a later stage. Very soon after making of the bond, the product P is released along with the unchanged free enzyme. This means the structure of S gets transformed into structure of P. This theory is called enzyme substrate complex theory and was postulated by Michaelis. Maclais, to explain these enzymatic reactions, proposed certain kinetics. They are called Maclais-Menton's equation. When we were studying the undergraduation and post-graduation, this Maclais-Menton equation was a big subject for all of us. So enzyme plus substrate, arrow mark should be there. Arrow mark moved a bit upward. They are reversible reaction. Here you can see, for example, enzyme and substrate arrow mark is shown here. That is reversible. That means enzyme substrate may form enzyme substrate complex, and it may convert. It may get back to once again enzyme substrate. It need not be compulsory that it will be moved into the enzyme product side. But once enzyme substrate moves towards the enzyme product side, then it forms the enzyme product molecules. Enzyme never undergo any change. Enzyme remain as such. So substrate is converting into product. Enzyme is remaining as such. Each enzymatic molecule may perform millions of reactions, but enzyme remains as such. Enzyme never participate. It is like a middleman. Middleman never indulges in the business. Middleman just performs the business, but he never indulges in the business. Is neither having profit nor loss. So these two people are the Michaelis and Menton. They have given enzymatic kinetics, a very beautiful subject which we will learn as you progress into the higher levels of your education. So here we have shown one diagram. This just like this is called lock and key model. There are one or two hypotheses are there to explain the functioning of the enzymes. In your higher classes you will learn them. Enzyme is combining with substrate. Here you can see the active site. Where the substrate is binding to the enzyme at its active site. As far as I remember, there are two theories. One is key lock and key model, and another one is called induced fit model. So the substrate is binding to the active site of the enzyme, and they are forming enzyme substrate complex. It is just like lock and key. That is why it is called lock and key model. But there are some other theories also there, and they forms enzyme substrate complex. That enzyme substrate complex later they are forming enzyme product. So here we are, for example, if you take the substrate as the starch molecule is undergoing breakdown in the presence of amylase enzyme, and it is forming two products, glucose and fructose molecule. Maybe if I give some examples wrong, kindly excuse me. I am doing only a contingency job here. So another important thing is activation energy. Activation energy. You have to understand this concept. Activation energy. I'll go a bit slow here because it is a bit complex. Enzyme substrate complex. Enzyme substrate complex. We have told, for example, amylase enzyme is there. Carbohydrate is the substrate. Amylase enzyme is binding with the carbohydrate substrate to form the enzyme substrate complex. That enzyme substrate complex is unstable. It may be converted into product and they may dissociate. It is just like they are in an engagement. Engagement, not marriage. So when they are in engagement, they may dissociate also. So enzyme substrate complex is highly unstable. Stability is related to energy status of the molecule or the structure. In the next diagram, we are having one graph. There we will explain. Y-axis represents the potential energy and x-axis represents the progress of reaction. Don't worry, I will show the graph. In the graph shown next, there is energy level difference between the substrate and product. If P is lower than S, it is an exothermic reaction. In this, there is no need for supplying energy to the product. Reactions are of two types: exothermic reactions and endothermic reactions. Reactions that liberate energy are called exothermic reaction. In the next page, for example, so here we are having the differences between the exothermic reactions and endothermic reaction. Exo means outside. Thermic means energy. Expel. In this type of reaction, the energy is released. In this type of reaction, the energy is utilized. Endothermic reaction. Photosynthesis is endothermic reaction. It utilizes the sun energy to synthesize the food material. That is why it is called endothermic reaction. In the upcoming classes, Mr. Mahesh will explain, TSMS Navipet will explain about the photosynthesis. Exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction means that liberates energy. For example, respiration is an exothermic reaction. PGT from Pulkal will explain about this respiration process. There we will discuss about the exothermic reaction. So the basic difference is in the exothermic reaction, the energy is liberated. In the endothermic reaction, the energy is utilized. The level of product is at a lower level than the substrate molecules in the graph showing the activation energy. I will show the graphs, don't worry. The level of product is at higher level than the substrate molecules in the graph showing activation energy. So we'll go back. So we have to see this graph. So potential energy. This is the potential energy. On the y-axis, you are having the potential energy. On the x-axis, we are having progress of reaction. The substrates are having high potential energy. The product is having low potential energy. Potential energy is the energy possessed by the molecules. If the substrate has to convert it into the product, it has to pass through one energy state called activation stage. For example, I am living in one village. I have to go to another village which is present on the other side of the hill. It is present on the other side of the hill. There are two options. One is I have to climb the hill and go the downhill. For climbing this hill and or mountain, I need a lot of energy. It takes a lot of effort from my side. When it takes a lot of effort from my side, my movement will be very difficult, and I reach there within 6 to 7 hours. I will reach. I'm not saying I cannot reach. I will reach that place within 5 to 6 hours. But if I can dig a tunnel, at a lower level, through the tunnel I can easily pass through and I can reach that village within 1 hour. So we are having one substrate. That substrate has to be converted into product. The energy possessed by the substrate is high. The energy possessed by the product is less. But to be converted from substrate to the product state, the substrate has to go through certain state called transition state. That transition state is having high activation energy. That is why the substrate molecule moves slowly through this transition state and reaches the product state. For that, the reaction takes place at a slower rate. Whereas, if the enzyme is present, the activation energy is considerably reduced. You can see here, the red line shows the activation energy required in the absence of the enzyme. The green line shows the activation energy required in the presence of the enzyme. In the absence of the enzyme, the substrate has to spend a lot of energy to reach the transition state. In the presence of the enzyme, the substrate has to spend less energy. So in the presence of the enzyme, the substrate easily gets converted into product. So that is about the activation of energy. That is why in the presence of the enzymes, the molecules moves at a speeder rate from substrate state to the product stage. So this is an endothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction means that requires energy. Exothermic energy reaction means that requires that releases energy. Here substrate is present at a lower state, products are present at a higher state. That means it needs energy. When it needs energy, when we use enzymes, the activation energy gets decreased. So whether it is exothermic reaction or endothermic reaction, for the conversion of substrate into product, certain activation energy is required. For that activation energy, generally it is very high, but in the presence of the enzymes, the activation energy gets reduced. When the activation energy gets reduced, the enzymes can easily, the substrate can easily get converted into product. That is why the rate of reaction gets speeded up. So already we discussed about this. I failed to show you one diagram. I will go back. So for example, this is the enzyme. This enzyme, actually you forget about the enzyme. If you see, only substrate is present. This substrate, if it has to be converted into product, the substrate alone, for example, you are there. I will give you one simple example. You all students are there. If you have to understand this topic is very difficult for you individually. If you open the second year botany book, and if you go enter into the plant physiology, and if you start reading on your own enzymes, it will be difficult. You cannot understand what is this activation site, who are this Nicholas and Menton, who identify what is this yeast. All these difficulties you face. Your travel is like this substrate travel through the arrow, this dotted lines. That is the high activation energy. There we have shown the title, no catalyst. There is no catalyst is there. But when I am with you, not only me, even Bharati madam is there, any botany teacher is there, we can make the process easy, and we can show you the easiest pathway. The activation energy is reduced. As the activation energy is reduced, the substrate in combination with the enzyme is having low activation energy, so it can be easily converted into enzyme and product. So just like a teacher is helping you to understand the subject, the enzyme is helping the substrate to convert into the product. Enzyme does not undergo any change. This year we are teaching you. The previous year we taught another batch. In the next year we will teach another batch. We are not undergoing any change, but you are undergoing a change. From the first year to second, you entered into the second year. From intermediate to, you will enter into the undergraduation. From undergraduation to you. So at every stage, at up to 10th class, you are having some teachers. Imagine them as enzymes. At intermediate, you are having some other teachers. We the enzymes. If you go to the undergraduation, you will be also having teachers there. It is a chain reaction. Just like that, at every chain reaction, in every enzymatic reaction, the molecule needs, the substrate needs certain activation energy to be converted into product. In the absence of the enzyme, the activation energy is more. In the presence of the enzyme, the activation energy is less. So the substrate easily gets converted into products. That is the thing. So here you can see once again, this is the enzyme molecule. This is having active sites. The substrate molecule will bind to it, and they slowly gets converted into enzyme product complex. The enzyme product complex gets converted into products. So this is how the reaction takes place. We have seen this diagram, also seen this diagram, endothermic reaction. We have seen the differences between the exothermic and endothermic reaction. However, whether it is exo or endothermic reaction, it has to go through a much higher energy state or transition state. So that's why what we are telling, every reaction has to pass through activation energy, whether it is exothermic or endothermic reaction. That activation energy is high in the absence of the enzyme. In the presence of the enzyme, the activation energy is less. As the activation energy is less, the substrate easily gets converted into product. The difference between average energy content of S and that of this transition state is called activation energy. The difference is called activation energy. Enzyme bring down energy barrier, making the transition of S to P more easily. Activation energy is there, but in the presence of enzyme, the activation energy gets down. When the activation energy gets down, the substrate can be easily converted into product. So we have learned several topics today. We have discussed about the turnover number. What is turnover number? The turnover number is the number of molecules gets converted from the substrate to the product by enzyme one active site. That is called turnover number, which is the fastest acting enzyme. Carbonic anhydrase is the fastest enzyme. Define Usain Bolt is the fastest runner in the world. Just like that, carbonic anhydrase is the fastest enzyme in the biological systems. Define activation energy. What is activation energy? Activation energy is the energy required by the enzymes, substrate at the transition state to be converted into products. That is the activation energy. What is the exothermic energy? Exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction means the reaction that is responsible for the liberation of energy is called exothermic. The opposite is called endothermic reaction. Describe the concept of activation energy. We already discussed about that concept of activation energy. So let me conclude. So enzymes are the biocatalyst present in all the living organisms. Without enzymes, no biochemical reaction takes place in the body. Biochemical means the reactions that are taking place in the living organisms are called biochemical reactions. In the absence of enzymes, no biochemical reaction can take place in the living organism. Several scientists worked on the enzymes. Yeast were the first organisms in which the enzymes are identified. So they are named as enzymes. We have to learn three important terms: active site, the sites that are present on the enzyme molecule, that are present in the enzymes that are responsible for the binding of the substrate molecule to the enzyme. Substrate, the molecule that participate in the reaction is called substrate. The product, the produce of the enzymatic reaction is called product. So these are the important things. We discussed about the exothermic reactions and endothermic reactions also. We learned about the Michaelis-Menton's equation, where the potential energy, activation energy play an important role. We discussed about the enzyme substrate complex by which enzymes are converted into enzymes and products. We also discussed about the fastest enzyme. So these are the different things which we learned today. So unfortunately, Mrs. Bharati is unable to deliver the lecture, but she has done a lot of hard work in preparing all the PowerPoint presentation. I am just going through the PPTs and the lecture prepared by she. Hope all the technical problems will over tomorrow, and tomorrow she may deliver the lecture. Thank you. Madam Shalya, madam. Hello. Shalya, madam.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I concluded.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for the timely help. I think the lesson of enzymes was clear to the students. Very important session. Enzymes play a key role in our day-to-day life, as you have said, in the fermentation of idlis, everything. Thank you, sir. Thank you for explaining the ES
Okay.
substrate complex
Thank you.
very clearly.
Thank you.
Activation energy part very clearly. Thank you. We'll have tomorrow another interesting session on the same enzymes.
Okay.
Next
Okay.
session. Thank you all. Please stay tuned. You will have commerce class next. An important topic, consignment, will be delivered by Mrs. Premlata, PGT Commerce, Jinnaram, Sangareddy District. Thank you all. We'll be back in few minutes.